W, baby. Come on now. Get in this house. Let's go. Let's go, man. It's W, man. Let's go. Come on now. Yeah, we got the dub. We got the dub the right way, baby. Huh? Running the ball. Yes. Let's go. We got Coach Marv in the building. Ow!
You got those in the building.
And I got the OC in the building.
OC, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, we got the OC.
I'm good, man.
In the building. See, when we win, I say his name different. I don't just say OC. I say the OC in the building, huh? Oh, let's go, man. Let's go. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. So this is gonna be real good, man. We finna have fresh commentary from the homie OC. We got Coach Marv. Man, this is finna go down. Yes, indeed. So we bringing y'all today the post-game recap. Diggs versus Chase. And Diggs won. Diggs won. Oh man, let's go. So, do we believe again? Do we believe? Or is the sky falling?
Well, I want to talk about that, Boss Cowboy. I got some things to say.
You do? You do?
I want to talk about it. I got some things to say.
Okay. Okay, man. Sound like you finna knock
I'm
the
with you,
Kool-Aid out
OC.
my
I'm just
head,
happy
dog.
for me, OC.
Sound like you finna knock the Kool-Aid straight out my head, you know?
Hey man, I want you to sip the Kool-Aid. I'm in favor of the Kool-Aid. It's Sunday. It's Sunday evening. Hey, sip the Kool-Aid. Just sip it slowly. Okay?
Okay.
Sip it
Yeah.
slowly. Take your time.
That's right, OC.
Okay. Listen, I'm a
Yoga fire.
sip it fast up in this mud. You understand? Hey man, first of all, thank y'all for everybody who came out to the watch party, man. I enjoyed it. We going to a whole different thing now. That was the watch party, man. I really enjoyed it with Keystone and Coach Marv. Now we going into the post game, man. So this is another place to where we shine. This is another place to where you go get that good commentary from BossCowboySports. So let's go, man. I'm excited. We'll play this music, man. Let's go. Let's go. 1-1. 1-1. Man. Let's go, man. Oh, feels so good. Let's go. I don't want to hear about no draft. I don't want to hear nothing about none of that. I don't want to hear nothing about Sean Payton. We ain't talking about none of that. It's not going to be our conversation today, baby. We're talking about this dub. All right, let's go. All right, here we go, man. Let's crank it up. Let's get it. Clap it up.
Boss Cowboy Sports in the building, man. Y'all don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tune in, and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for the latest and the greatest in Cowboys content and news.
All right,
Boss Cowboy,
yeah.
what say you?
Oh man, good dub. You know what I'm saying? Good dub. And we got Coach Marv in the building, so we go put his head in here too. Let's go. I'm gonna put him on the right side. That's gonna be better. So I mean, I feel good, man. I feel like we needed an ugly win. I think we definitely needed an ugly win to kind of boost our confidence, boost morale, buy us time to get through dysfunction. Straight up. Buy us time to continue to criticize some of the stupid stuff that we were seeing, OC, so that we can continue to keep the pressure. Because, see, don't fool yourself, everybody that's watching. It was the pressure that was coming from Mike McCarthy to Kellen Moore to run the ball. It's why we won this game. And
Yeah.
he almost gave it away the game, going away from that.
Yes,
So
sir.
you say, what say ye? That's what ye say, me.
Well, look, man, the Cowboys survived. The Cowboys survived. And look, I will say this. First of all, a win is a win is a win. So the Cowboys came away with a victory today versus a scrappy Cincinnati Bengals team. And we did what I think is going to save our season, if it is going to be saved, which is lining up and running the football downhill. All right, salute to Tyler Smith for handling his business and being fairly dominant in the run game. Great plays to spring Tony Pollard on the outside, pulling around with a tight end trap. Also, great counter trade play. All right, when another huge run inside by Tony Pollard going to the right side of that offensive line. So, hey, listen, Cooper Rush did his thing. First half, he definitely played better than the second half, but some of that was his fault, Boss Cowboy, and some of it was not. All right, so I'll talk more about that later. But hey, man, a win is a win, man, and happy we got the dub. 1-1 is better than 0-2, so let's go.
Coach Marv, what's your thoughts?
And I think, yeah, man. When your one quarterback is down, you don't care if you win ugly. You don't care if it win by 1 point, last second field goal. Your thing is to survive and to win games any way possible. And yes, I agree with OC about Cooper Rush. The second half was not a good half of him, and I said, as we were saying in the telecast, he threw 4 balls that should have been picked off. And he had some rough throws, but we don't expect him to be perfect. Run the ball downhill, maybe staying with it a little bit more. But this gives us confidence that this type of game plan can work. Now, if you got confidence, now we hopefully go into the next week and we lean a little more on it, and we can start to perfect it as an identity to this team. That's what we're trying to formulate in these first 4 games, our identity. And now we find the identity of being tough. Kudos to the defense for this being tough. I know they was getting tired, but they made the stop in the last drive that they need to make on that third down play. So I think a good tough victory, and I love them to have these type of victories. These are building blocks.
So Tyrone Church says Schultz is hurt. So obviously, let's kind of start that conversation. What does the future look like with Schultz being hurt?
Well, I mean,
all right.
Boss Cowboy, at the end of the day, man, we've done probably the most content surrounding Schultz. So much so we got you blocked on Twitter, Boss Cowboy. So, I mean, man, look, here's the deal, man. If he's hurt, we're going to be okay because of the fact that Jake Ferguson can come in and do everything that Schultz can do, pretty much. He has some good blocks as well this game, by the way. But yes. I hope he's not hurt. We do want the threat of Schultz up the seam and running those zone read type routes, sitting down in the middle of the zone. But however, Jake Ferguson is a guy that could catch the ball as well and showed that in the preseason. So if we have to go to him, I think that at the end of the day, we'll make the adjustment. He'll get more reps in practice catching the football, which is going to end up being just fine for the Cowboys. The greater thing is that and not to jump ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and get into some content here. Here's the deal. What Kellen Moore has to do is he's going to have to work the play action pass like he did in the first half. He got away from working play action pass. He got away from running some crossing routes. He got away from doing some things that helped these guys take advantage of really not great play from the Cincinnati defensive backs today, to be completely honest with you. But he did some things concept and scheme-wise, Boss Cowboy, not just play calling-wise, right, to help some of these guys get open and get off, man. And he got away from that after, I would say, the midpoint of the second quarter, which caused us to have offensive struggles.
Yeah. Everybody that was really paying attention can see that we lost rhythm more so due to Kellen Moore. He started trying to do too much with Cooper Rush. He started doing too much. He started again slightly going away from his playmakers. And at the second half, his two key playmakers were still the same playmakers that it was in the first half. It was Zeke and it was Pollard. And as soon as
CeeDee Lamb had a great game too.
He had a great game. I'm not
CeeDee
looking at his
Lamb.
stats yet. I'm not looking at his stats
Oh,
yet.
he had a great game.
What's his
Yeah, he had a
numbers
great
on the
game.
coach?
I don't have a number. I know he had at least 7 catches. He had that big catch that in that last drive that we before they had the field goal. So CeeDee Lamb had a great game, but again, I want to go back to what OC was saying. The play action, and I mentioned this when we was doing the telecast about we want Cooper Rush to throw play actions most of the time. And again, if you watch this game, we made all our big plays in the middle of the field. I've been saying this since training camp. I've been saying that the area between 10 to 20 yards in the middle of the field, right, is where we're gonna get a lot of big plays. And one of our players in the game, I think Noah Brown, was killing the people in the middle of the field. And that's where play action really works, in the middle of the field when you're running the ball, because you get a little bit more cushion between the linebackers and the safeties. And that's where we inside the numbers in the middle of the field. And I think when we attacked that area, Cooper Rush was looking good, but when he started just throwing the ball outside the numbers, he kind of looked like he was programmed to throw the ball outside the numbers and not try to search down the middle of the field.
We got the numbers on CD. Tyrone Church, appreciate it. He said we got 8 catches with 81 yards. That is indeed a very good game.
No drops either.
My player of the game, Noah Brown.
Mm-hmm.
God dog. Oh my goodness. What's your thoughts on that, OC?
Man, look, man, Noah Brown played like he was back at Ohio State, man. I mean, like he's shaking down these slow, independent DBs, man. And I mean, I don't know if it's Noah Brown getting better or if it's the quality of competition. I mean, but nevertheless, it don't matter, man. He did great, man. He did a fantastic job, man, working against some ones and some twos today, actually. And occasionally he was on the third cornerback, but, man, he did a great job doing his thing. And, man, hats off and salute, man, to Noah Brown, man. Great job today.
Real quick, shout out also to Coach Marv, because Coach Marv, you know, he made a big prediction. He said, boss. Let me put the highlight on me real quick. He said, boss, could Noah Brown be what Anthony Brown was last year? I was low-key like... But if he keeps stacking weeks like he's stacking, yeah, coach. Yeah.
Well,
I would gladly turn that crow up. Go ahead, OC.
No, man, here's the thing, man. And here's the great thing, being on the positive tip for the Cowboys. Here's the great thing, and then here's the bad thing, too. It's all the same. The Cowboys don't have a super tough schedule, all right? They don't, because next week we got to play against the Giants, right? The week after that, we play against the Commanders, right? So we got 2 weeks really to try to fine-tune this offense underneath Cooper Rush before we have another big game, which we'll play against the Rams the week after that, 3 weeks from now, on the 9th of October. So that's a beautiful thing about this. We don't have a super tough, quote-unquote, schedule. So that's going to work in our favor, man, and try to get some of these things in sync and work out some of the nuances.
Real quick, my boy Steve say, he said, all of y'all, nope, not all, because I already told you Coach Marv did not. All right, he said all of y'all slept. Nope, not true. Nope, Coach Marv, he was one. And he said Big Game James tasting barbecue crust as we speak. And this is the thing. That's why I respect Big. You feel me on that, OC? You feel me on that, Coach
sure.
Marv? Because there's a whole lot other content creators, when they proven wrong with the film, they don't publicly go out there and say it. See, that's why I still rocks with Big, because when he wrong, when I'm wrong, when the OC wrong, or when Coach Marv wrong, we would come up and say, yeah, we gladly eating this crow. What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
Yeah, let me. This is the reason why, and I've always learned this. You don't know how to get opportunity. Where will No Brown gonna get opportunities on this team when you had Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper? He was gonna get few and far, and you had Cedric Wilson. So it's few and far between his opportunities. If he make a mistake or don't come up with a catch, he's not gonna get too many more opportunities. Then we say, well, so he's not that good. I'm not saying he's an all-world receiver, but now he's put in a position where he is the number 1 or 2 guy, and he's gonna get many opportunities to show what he can do. So now with his opportunities, he's making the best of his opportunities. And I would hope with a guy that's been around Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup for 4 or 5 years, that he learns something to be a good receiver. If not, he in the wrong profession, so we're seeing some of those things rub off with his route. You see a little wiggle in his route. And what he's doing is he's catching the ball because he's now the guy that's getting not the same type of the coverages that Lamb is getting. So now he's got opportunities, and he's converting his opportunities. And you're not going to see him convert more because he's always been playing with Cooper Rush. That's all he practiced. That's his first. That's his number 1 quarterback, because when the second unit comes out, that's who he's been working with. So he has a familiarity with Cooper Rush, and Cooper Rush trusts him because he's been working with him. So he's getting this opportunity, and we just hope he continue to keep, sliding under the radar. I don't care. Let him keep sliding under the radar. He's just doing the same thing we said Cedric Wilson did last year. That's all he's doing. He's doing a great job at it.
Yeah, Cooper Rush 2-0 as a starter. Hey, real quick. Hey, Jay Mitch, I'm so sorry that I missed the picnic, bro. I had an emergency come up, bro. I ain't never missed one of our picnics, my high school picnics, bro. I'm so glad you showed up anyway, man, and you know what I mean? But anyway, man, I hate that I missed it, bro. I know y'all balled out. I know it because every time I wake up late from them picnics, I be waking up like, oh, why I do that? But anyway, man, welcome, Big Dog. He had a good comment too. He said, impressed with 31 dropbacks and only 1 sack. Donovan Wilson set the tone on the back end, being active. True. Russian Brown has 2-3 years of chemistry. Spoken like a true football head, man. So let me start with you on that, OC. We also got Keystone in the building. He done snuck back in.
Salute, Keystone. What's up, brother?
What's going on, fam? It's been a minute since we've been back home together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And I'm gonna kick it to you, Keystone, man. Since you ain't been in the building, man. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, me looking at the game, man, I was impressed with the line because, that was always the big question mark going into the game. And people can say a lot about Tyler Smith. He definitely has been solid these first couple of games. But then again, when he was a guard in preseason, it's not surprising. But we all put a question mark on him all because he didn't have reps at tackle when he was going into camp. But for him just having reps like that is right now and the way he's playing, and these wasn't easy games. We got Tampa last year. That was a good, solid team last year. Did win a chip. And now you face the Cincinnati, the former AFC champs, and you play solid. That itself, good. Now, I know Fournette got beat a little bit, but hey, underratedly, I believe he had a solid game. It was the line. That right there.
Yeah, it's finna start.
I think they had a great.
It's getting ready to get.
I think they were great too.
Go ahead.
And you know something, I'm gonna eat a little crow. I have been very hard on Tyler, to be honest. But these last 2 games, what I seen when I watched this film over and over again last week, what he did to the big guy in Tampa Bay, and from what I seen without just looking at it from the outside, not really breaking the film down, but what I saw, I'm going to eat a little crow because I believe he's gotten better and he's doing a much better job of being physical in the middle. And I think if we allow these guys to be physical, right, it'll help our pass blocking because they'll be into game and they know that they're counted on to be physical, and it'll translate into taking the legs away from these defensive linemen. That's what you want to do, is take the legs away from them. You don't want their first step to be pass rush. You want their first step to be hesitant about you attacking them. So I think with us attacking it and keeping that game plan, it'll help out. It'll help our O-line with their pass blocking great.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, boss.
No, you go, please.
No, what I was going to say is that, man, what happens, and I've mentioned this before, is that when you effectively run the football, it helps you so much in the pass pro, especially when you get later in the game. Teams are forced to blitz because when you are really bearing down and moving bodies, right, and creating a lot of chaos in the middle of that line, it's going to create seams for the running backs, but it's also going to create opportunities to where these guys are not as fresh late in the game. And I think you saw a little bit of that in this particular game. The line really is physical, man. They're a physical group. I mean, if you look at Tyler Smith, if you look at Faranoak, I mean, hey, he had a couple blips on the road, I mean, this game, but overall, solid job. If you're looking at even Badiaz, hey, not a bad job. If you're looking at Zach Martin and you're looking at Terrence Steele, when they double teaming people, they're blowing people off of the ball. They are blowing people off the ball. So, hey, if we continue in that pace and continue to use that power run game with some stretch game in there, to me, that's where we're going to be at our best until we get better personnel and until we get Dak Prescott back on the field.
Hey, I got something. I'm going to go around the circle with this one. I want to hear from everybody on this. And then we go talk about, and we go spend a lot more time on this next part this whole week. But the thing that I want to focus on is Armstrong and Dante Fowler. I want to talk about those guys. See, they was very impactful low key. And Coach Marv, you raised a hell of a point on Camp Cupcake and the bubble wrap that they put on Armstrong was probably why he started off slow game one. But when I looked at him game two, it was almost like that preseason bubble wrap fell off and he started to come on. Now, what was obvious to me, and I'm not saying that because his dad is a regular to this channel. I would say that if his dad never watched one time, Fowler clearly looked like he was the better player out the two. And if we tried to improve, we would start him because he was super impactful with not as many reps as Armstrong. So I want to go around the circle and kind of get y'all thoughts on that. I'm going to start with you, OC.
Yeah, man. Well, your eyes don't lie, Boss Cowboy. Your eyes do not lie. All right. You did have Dorn Armstrong come up with 2 sacks, right? But again, as we look at him and, you know, the way he plays, it's going to be a physical, lunch pail, workman-like approach. It's not a really skilled approach in terms of nuance, moves, hands, feet, dips, things like that you see from most defensive ends, but you see hustle plays. And so, you know, he got a bull rush sack. And he came in and got another sack because they pumped the ball and, you know, Joe Burrow slid to his side. And so he got, 2 sacks. But what you did see versus guards and you did see pressure versus tackles with Fowler has the skill set to where against that right guard, when he climbed the pocket versus that guy, he spun back inside, right? And created pressure in the face. Then he spun back inside later in the game and got a tip, spun back inside, got equal to the quarterback, retraced the steps, spins back inside, and jumps up and tips the ball. Made some plays also and assist in the run game. So in terms of athleticism and in terms of skill, he would be the better, in my opinion, out of the 2, man, if you're just being honest. But however, nothing can be substituted for tremendous effort. And this kid had tremendous effort. But I think that, I agree with you on that, Boss Cowboy. I think he has the greater upside in terms of making more plays, if I can say it that way. But shout out to Dorrance Armstrong. I can't take that away from him. You know what I'm saying? 2 sacks, it's 2 sacks, it's 2 sacks, baby. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of skill and movement, you can see a lot of potential with Dante Fowler for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, OC. And me, when I was saying in the watch party, when I was looking the way how Fowler was getting off, the way he was getting to that quarterback, I said, oh my goodness, that boy looking like he was back with the Rams again. I said, sheesh. Nah, but do you see how he was really exploding off the ball? I'm like,
Yes.
no.
Yes, dog. I did see it. It was clear as spring water coming out of South Carolina.
Smooth. Straight to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what's your thoughts? Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your thoughts on the coach?
Listen. No, and I'll tell you, I talked to Mr. Fowler, Coach Fowler. I think Armstrong did a great job. I think you like I said, taking the bubble wrap off of him and getting into the flow of playing football. You don't really play in the competitive nature all during training camp, and then you don't get no preseason games, and then you get into the game and you playing these amount of snaps. It takes sometimes some players time to get in their rhythm. But yes, Dante Fowler has to play more than 10 plays than he played in game one. So when we see him get out there, the same thing with him. We got to split the time, and these guys are so versatile that you can move them around and you can get both of them on the field at the same time. So you shouldn't have to put yourself in a position where one or the other has to be on the sideline if both of them playing well. But Dante Fowler needs to be a lot of reps because he's got the weight that they want him to do. They asked him to be at a certain weight. He's at that certain weight. He's healthy. But I did see some with this defense, and I want to say this. We're seeing that this defense and I go back to Camp Cupcake or somewhat, and I'm not even talking about the physical nature of Camp Cupcake. This defense is starting to have to, it's going to take some weeks for them to get into true defensive football shape. So that's why we see a little fatigue a little bit with this defense in our pass rush, because that's some of the things when you don't drive them hard, sometimes it takes you a while to have to get to that point where you can finish all 4 quarters and be at top level. And even though we got a good rotation there, it's this conditioning thing I was looking at, it goes across the board. So hopefully we're working on that and getting better, but great job by Fowler and Armstrong today. Great job.
It's a couple of more people that to me deserve some major acknowledgments. Diggs versus Chase and Anthony Brown versus Chase. Shout out to you guys because that wasn't no easy matchup that they had today. And you raised that point in the third quarter, Coach, where you was like, have you heard from Chase? Have you heard from Chase? No, you didn't. Like, he, compared to what he can do, he was very... So, obviously, I want to commend our corners. Also, guys who stepped up quietly, one more loud than the other, and I'm going to go around the circle again. Just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real, too. Donovan Wilson, boy!
Bruh.
That boy stepped up and slightly LVE. Better game by LVE. Better. I want to talk about them two guys, but especially Donovan Wilson. I saw some Donovan Wilson plays where he obviously trying to get his name back in light. So let me start with you, OC. What's your thoughts?
Man, Donovan Wilson is like a big physical guy, man. To me, he's like a linebacker, man. I know he plays safety, man, but he's playing like a linebacker, man. He's running downhill, man, trying to knock the crap out of people. He's acting. He's all over the field. I mean, he did a great job filling in for Jaron Curse, because he's injured. So I like his game. I like his physicality. I like his attitude. I think, getting off of him to go into LVE, I think LVE, I think he's okay. Boss Cowboy. I don't think he's
Yeah, it was.
he's who
It wasn't
he I don't
quite.
think I don't think yeah
It wasn't quite that, but it was
he
better.
wasn't he wasn't garbage, but he was can I put it this way? In certain spots he was serviceable. And
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, man. I'm not trying to hate on LVE. My kids listen to me do some of this commentary and they be like, man, LVE's not a bad player. I said, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm saying that he's not the star middle linebacker. He's not exactly what you want. I'm being honest. And I think that at this point, Boss Cowboy, I think that it should be at least a look to get the other young fella up in there, man. And yes, exactly. And give Harper some reps, man, and try to like see what we got. Because what you notice with LVE, no offense, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just saying LVE does a lot of catching. He does a lot of catching. And, you know, when you play linebacker, it's better to give than it is to receive.
I love
it.
And so, OC, I love what you're saying, bro, because you are not resting on your laurels. I love the fact that you are so greedy about still improving, and I 100% agree with your Harper take. Please keep talking.
Finish him.
Yeah, man. I mean, here's the whole deal, man. When you talk about LVE, you talk about a guy that is not meeting running backs in a hole. He never really shoots gaps, right? He's more so scared to be wrong than he's committed to being aggressive and coming forward. Okay? When you see him making plays sideline to sideline, you see him a step behind, or you see him getting there on the back leg of that back or whoever is trying to cut around that corner. Also, you don't see LVE violently and aggressively getting off blocks. You see him getting blocked by tight ends, blocked by fullbacks, chipped by wide receivers at times. And when you chip him, he doesn't have the explosive quickness to get off of that and to make tackles. And it may seem like I'm being critical. I'm not. I'm just evaluating this game and just telling you what I see. So I think you could have a more explosive person there. I think you could have a guy that has more instinctual confidence to actually trust what he sees and get in that gap and make tackles. And that's just my opinion.
Man, I love it. I want to throw one more thing. Next. Hold on, I got you, Coach. Let me throw one more thing at the OC. Then we go around the circle, okay? Just real quick, because he really going on this linebacker. So, what was your thoughts on Anthony Barr and the difference between Anthony Barr and LVE? Then we can go around the circle and hear from everybody just on the linebacker core. What's your thoughts on that, OC?
Well, Anthony Barr is a veteran guy, and Anthony Barr is used to making tackles. So Anthony Barr is attacking downhill to inside out to make tackles. And even when he misses a tackle or maybe he took a bad angle, he's close. He's there. You know, he's just about there. And so he needs a couple more games to kind of get his feet underneath him, in my opinion. But, I mean, he showed flashes of what he can do this game and making several really good tackles. And what you want to see from the linebacker position is you want to see read and diagnose. Diagnose. You want to see reaction time, diagnosing, and being around the ball, not late to the ball. So he's on time versus being late or getting there not at all. You know, if you compare him and LVE, if I'm being honest.
All right, Keystone, what's your thoughts on the linebacker crew? And what the OC was clearly talking about was ways to improve the linebacker room, and just your thoughts on LVE and Donovan Wilson. You can throw all that gumbo together.
Yeah, my thoughts on Donovan is we already know what he can do. You know, he's just finally being healthy. And we know that we know he can get a bonehead play here and there. Like, you know, even though that bang call on rough for the pass, whatever, I don't know. I don't even want to discuss that. But on the same note, I'm like, that's just how he is. This is attitude. If he's coming to you, he wants to lay the wood on you. He don't care who you are.
Right.
That's just how I look at him. This is attitude. It's like what OC said. And as far as LVE go, I'm just like, I mean, really a healthy scratch on Jabril Cox that had a better preseason than he did.
Oh, boy, you're stealing my thunder. I'm finna finish him. I'm finna finish him. I'm finna finish him when I get on. I'm finna finish. You can hit the finishing thing when I get on.
Okay, cool.
I got you. Yeah. But as far as Barr go, yeah, we already know how Barr is. You know, when I seen him today, he was looking like that Minnesota Flash Anthony Barr, and I would like to see more of that as we go along. You know, keep in rotation. I like the way how we rotating our linebackers, and we all know how McCarthy spoke on that since last season on rotating his players. I see a good flash in that when it comes to these linebackers.
Yeah, it was a great flash. Agree. I love the flash. I love the flash of it.
Yeah, let's just see if we can see more of it.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with the OC. I would want to see more of it also with Harper. I think that's a good point that he made. Coach Marv, you say hit him with the what?
Finish him.
All right, there it is.
Listen, I agree with everything what OC said, everything the Keystone said. LVE is serviceable. But if you want to have a linebacker that's got instinct, that even this out of position of playing middle linebacker, if you watch film during this preseason when he got in the game, this kid, two kids, Harper, as well as Jabril Cox, has that instinct to get up underneath blocks, to see it. They got the speed to go get it. They got the speed to be able to attack the outside. When guys catch the ball, they got the speed to be able to make plays in the middle of the field where you can, they got the speed to be able to cover better in the middle of the field. Again, this is, and I know when we speak about LVE, we have a lot of pushback, and I know why a lot of people think LVE is a great Cowboy, because if you listen to anybody who don't watch film, they'll be like, if he make a play, they go, oh, he had a great game. Well, when you look at the totality of it, film doesn't lie. And LVE is serviceable. He doesn't attack the line of scrimmage. I'm not saying that he played bad today, but I know we can do better. This defense can do better with a more athletic, aggressive middle linebacker. The reason why he played even a little bit better today, because Barr is starting to get his legs, and Barr only played 10 plays last week. So now Barr plays more. He starts attacking things, and what we're seeing LVE is he's just cleaning it up 2 or 3 yards. That's all this is. You have other guys force it, and he's cleaning it up 5 or 10 yards down the field. And we killed a guy that we got rid of a couple years ago because we said he would make a tackle 5 yards down the field. So, again, we can do better at that middle linebacker position, and I think that would help this defense a lot, because we got to get better, because as we go on, teams going to get better because they're going to get their rhythm. So, other teams are watching film on LVE, and they're going to start game planning to his deficiencies, and as a team, we need to watch that film just like we watching like the other team, and see our deficiencies and try to get them a little more solid. And that's what I know all of us will do when we start watching film this week, seeing where our deficiencies are at and come up with ideas of what we can do so other teams can attack us that way.
Yeah. And let me explain further to Boss Cowboy, because I'm equal opportunity, right, when it comes to this thing. And so, I'm going to say, a couple things. And the reason why I say what I say is that when you look back at this game film, and we can break this down, in the next couple of days, Boss Cowboy, if you want. But when you look at this thing, what you see is that some of those pop runs that they had, those 7-10-yard runs that are hit right in between the tackles, right? Much of that was LVE getting late or not getting there late or not getting there at all, right? When it's a clean hole, it's your linebacker not getting there and filling, man. That's what it is. And I'm just teaching a little bit on football. But furthermore, this is how LVE can help his game. This is how LVE can help himself, right? Because I want to be fair and balanced just in case LVE ever watches this thing. Not saying that he would, but if he saw it, man, hey, man, look, LVE, you need some tackles for loss. Right, you need to be in the backfield, read it early, and show you can get there, like Anthony Barr did a couple times today. You need to do more of that, especially when it's not an ID blocker coming up on you. You need to run underneath the play and show that you're explosive enough to meet people in the hole. And if you do those type of things, the OC will eat crow. I will apologize and I will shut up. But when you face the better teams, right? When you face the teams like the Rams, and when we face some of these other Green Bay, when we get into the schedule and we face some of these other teams, you're going to have to be able to do some of those things, man, because if not, it's going to be somewhat of a liability. And I'm just protecting you in advance of what will be coming soon. So that's my fair balance on that, Boss Cowboy.
And I think that's very fair and balanced. See, and I want people to understand, this is not about whooping up on LVE. This is about still being greedy for ways to improve. See, that's sometimes why some people seem like they hoping for losses. Is because there's nothing that humbled us better than that slap that we took game 1. Going to this question right here from Day Walker Vaughn, and very good question. He said, Boss Cowboy, do you think Mike McCarthy had an imprint on the offense today after this week press conference dissing himself from Kellen? First of all, fire question.
Yoga fire.
Absolutely. Like, have you ever seen Kellen Moore come out so aggressive, committed to the run? Have you? Now, he abandoned it in the second half, but I record all the series, and on the first series, first play, run. Second play, run. Third play, run. Second series, this is how it started. Play action. Then it was hurry up. Then it was oh no, that's the second half. Hold on, let me go to the first half. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at second half notes. First half notes. First series, run. Second, run. 4 runs in a row coming out the gate. Have you ever seen Kellen do that? Have you ever seen Kellen do that? All right. So second drive started. First run. Second one. Then he throws to Noah Brown. Third play, run. So basically, out of the first 7 or 8 plays, every one of them, except for about 2 of them, was run. Have you ever seen Kellen like that? So to answer the question, yes. And so some people was asking, what does Mike McCarthy do? Mike McCarthy showed what he does when he held Kellen Moore accountable, because the Joneses wasn't doing it, Steven wasn't doing it, Jerry wasn't doing it. So the only person that was left to do it and to call him out like he was calling out Terrence Steele was Mike McCarthy, and it worked. And I'm gonna go to a comment that somebody said, and I expected this, and this is okay. My boy said, Boss, can I start it now? Dak would have lost this game. I'm sorry to say it.
Oh, Lord. Lord.
We gonna go around the circle with that one. I'm gonna start with you. I got you, Coach. No, you started off, Coach Marv. You sound like
let me start off there. OC.
You itching up for that. And then we got OC.
OC been bringing the smoke. But listen, I said it this way, man. Yes. I remember last year when Troy Aikman said when he was commentating one of the games, and we ran the ball 2 times in a row. He said, "We ran the ball 2 times in a row. We don't usually do that." So you got people that's commentating knows that the Cowboys don't run the ball 2 or 3 or 4 times in a row. That's not a tendency of them. And if I was a defensive coordinator, I would never say we're gonna play the run 2-3 times in a row, not with the Cowboys, because we don't think they're going to be committed to it. So yes, I think McCarthy may have had a say so about being more committed to the run. Now they could have been committed to the run a little bit more. I think McCarthy is a guy that wants to be committed to the run, but his history shows that he's not committed to running it 30 or 40 times either. But that he knew he got to do it a little bit more than what we have been doing. So I hope that's a building block to see that is successful. And for the comment about if Dak would have lost his game, let's be mindful that the pass that Noah Brown that went and got across the middle was a tip pass that was fluttering in the air, and Noah Brown went and got the ball. It was not like Cooper Rush threw the ball on the dime, and he did what a backup quarterback can do. We got a gritty win He didn't make no mistakes. He could have if Cincinnati could catch, but he didn't make no mistakes, and we got the victory. But he's a backup quarterback. If we had ran the same game plan with Dak Prescott, we probably would have scored probably 28 points, maybe 31 points, easily. So this pump the brakes on that. I know that's gonna come out. I know a lot of people gonna be like, oh well, we should go on to Cooper Rush. Let's pump our brakes on that. We did what we supposed to do.
Go ahead, Ozzy.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I mean, I'm going to play along with this just for about 10 seconds. Dak Prescott could have lost this game. Okay, he could have lost this game underneath one condition: that we came out with the same game plan that we came out with week 1.
Facts.
That is the only reason that Dak Prescott would have lost this game. Had we come out with this type of game plan versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, we probably would have won that game.
Yep.
So this was more thorough. This was more thought out. This was more deliberate. This was much more intentional in terms of what we're going to do in this scenario, how we're going to calculate and get Noah Brown one-on-one with second and third DBs, how we're going to do and get CeeDee Lamb open, how we're going to play action pass after we set up the play, after we run the zone play and the stretch play effectively. Now we're going to come back and play action pass. We're going to score a touchdown doing that. So it was thought out, it was deliberate, it was planned. So that is the only way Dak Prescott would have lost this game if we did what we did game plan-wise in week number 1. This game, Dak Prescott would have thrown for 350-some-odd yards probably.
And I want to play this game, too. I'm going to play the game. He said, boss, you know I love you, boy. Man, I love you, too, bro. I'll play the game, too. Let's just play the game. We would have lost the game if it wasn't for Dak. Cool. So I'll say this. Dak averages 10 wins every time he plays a complete season. So maybe he would have lost this game. But on average, he go win you 10 of them. So regardless, I'm still cool with it. What's your thoughts on everything, Keystone?
Yeah, what that is, I'm piggybacking off of OC on that because let's not forget, when we played Tampa in the first half, we was running the football.
Right.
I don't know what made them decide to stop running the ball in the third quarter, to tell you the truth. That's when we talked about the word devalue. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, okay, it's good to see you did that more in the second half this game than you did last game, regardless of who was the quarterback, whether it was Cooper or whether it was Dak. Let's not forget, when we run the football, we win games when we run the ball exceptionally well. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. We won games with Romo doing the same thing. So it is what it is. So just gotta take the bitter and sweet of what it is and just look at the fact that this is who we are. Even in the glory days, we ran the football.
Yeah, man, facts. And let me say this too, on top of that point. I welcome that. I want more people to say that. I want so many people to be, let's give Cooper Rush a chance. Because the only reason they go say that is if we win. So,
hey, boss.
I'm cool with it. If people believe that, fine. That means we still in contention. That's all I care about. That's all I care about right now. What was you saying, Coach?
Boss, y'all can look this up, right? Since 2016, we 52-6 and 14 when we run the ball 30 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who came to the league in 2016?
Listen, since 2016, we 52-14 when we have 30 rushing attempts.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So that is the Cowboys' identity. And you know something? And I've said this before, when you run away from who you are destined for failure.
Right. Right.
And the only weakness of this, running wise of this team, in my opinion, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump on the horn and say this, is that you need to give Ezekiel Elliott the ball a little bit more when you get inside that 20.
Yep.
You know, I don't agree with that. He's one of the best finishers in the game, and he'll probably go down as probably one of the top 10 finishers of all time. Believe it or not. So you need to give this big bulldozer, this big pet bull, a chance, man, to convert for you, man, when you get down in between that 20-yard line in the end zone. And I will be some feedback. Tony Pollard is a good back. Tony Pollard did a great job, but you can clearly see that Tony Pollard is not a pure inside the tackles type runner.
Nope.
He's not. So he does great things, though. He'll do his best. He'll put his nose in there. He will, give you great sprint sweeps and tosses and flares and screens and all those type of things. But man, you need to depend on your horse, and that is my biggest axe to grind with Kellen Moore. Is still in certain situations, I don't agree I don't agree. Okay, let me just be honest. I don't agree with splitting series with Pollard. I don't agree with that.
Talk, bro. Say it.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. Okay, I think that you need to have. Okay, because here's the deal. You don't have a pure number 2 or a 1A receiver. We had a good game by Noah Brown. We got to see that more consistent before you make me a believer. I'm congratulating him on this game. And I'm going to say this, man. Look, the first time is a fluke. The second time, you're lucky. Now, you do it 3 times, you become consistent. So I need 3 games. Okay? I need 3 games, okay, of you doing the same type of stuff. And then, you know what? I believe you now. But until then, man, you need all the weapons on the field that you can get, and it befuddles me. I'm bamboozled. I'm run amok that you would have Tony Pollard on the field the same time you have Ezekiel Elliott on the football field, being that this guy is a premium weapon and a threat. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can line up in a slot. So there's your other receiver. There's your other weapon to keep the defense honest. If you line up 8 in the box because Ezekiel Elliott's back there, whoop-de-doo. Check the play. Let's give it to Pollard. Let's get up the field and get some quick, easy yards. So I don't agree with that, Boss Cowboy.
I got a question for OC, Boss. Boss, I got a question for OC.
Okay.
And me and him gonna be right on point with this.
All right.
Where is the sprint draw from under center? That play is the staple of the running game, of our running game. And you know how well you could play action pass off that OC, that sprint draw from under center?
Yeah.
It would listen. Yeah. You'll get listen. That's it. The action in that play, pass blocking wise, is the exact same aggressive action that you run with that running play. And when we ran that early in the season last year, we were killing people, and we haven't ran it again since the beginning of last season.
Hey, somebody raised a good point, and I know you want to talk about that sprint draw, but I like this thought by Jeremy Hill, because long term, I think Keystone raised this point too. I want to kind of throw this out there, OC, as a counter to what you said. Still early in the season, and we need a healthy Zeke. Split the carries right now. I like it. So he basically saying if they thinking about giving Zeke more later in the season, then splitting is not bad. I still agree with you, OC, but I just wanted to throw this at you as a counter and get your response.
Yeah, and so thank you for that, because I didn't clarify. I'm not saying to give Ezekiel Elliott all the carries. That's not what I'm saying. No. Give Tony Pollard his touches. So thank you for the comment, because I want to clarify that. I'm saying I don't agree with completely splitting series, because it takes away the threat and having to account for Ezekiel Elliott and or at the same time Tony Pollard. You need to have your best players on the field because you have a depleted offense in terms of weapons. That's what I'm saying. And you can interchange them. You don't have to give Ezekiel Elliott the ball because he's on the football field and Tony Pollard's on the football field. You don't necessarily just have to give Tony Pollard the ball because he's on the field and Ezekiel Elliott is on the field. You can interchange them and you can move that football around. Just be a little creative, Kellen. That's all you got to do. You can motion them in and out. You can do a lot of different. You can line them up in a slot. You can run split backs. You can do a ton of different things. I'm saying the strength is going to be with both of them on the field and not with making Ezekiel Elliott, because Ezekiel Elliott is something that I've learned about him. He is a rhythm runner. He's a rhythm runner. The more touches he gets better. But he also gets in a groove by just being in the game. So if you taking him out of the game, right, for 15, 20 minutes at a time, right, a drive goes 8 minutes, right, and he's on the sideline. He's not in because Pollard is now in. I don't think that's the wisest and the best use of his talent, and or having Pollard on the sideline for 15 minutes, right? So I think that you got to balance it out by figuring out a way to have both of these guys on the football field.
Yeah, let me pick it back on that. Listen, boss, I'm picking back, and what OT is saying, defenses game plan for Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. So if you got both of them on the field, it stresses the game plan of the defensive coordinator. When you got one,
yes,
they go to the plan for Zeke. When you got Tony, they go to the plan for Tony. But when you got both of them on the field, you are in a predicament. What we going to focus in on in the backfield? Because we got to focus on the receiver, but we have to focus in on one guy. But when they're in the backfield together, now you got a problem. And now if you put in the split backfield, you can leave Zeke back there to protect the quarterback when you want to pass, but now you can get Tony Pollard in the pass route. So
check this out.
Yes, they should be on that 12 personnel, and that doesn't stop you from having 2 tight ends on the field. You know what I'm saying? At all.
JL. So he said, why does it seem that Rush can get Noah Brown more involved in the game than Dak can? I'm gonna give you my opinion. The same reason why Jason Garrett used to get Harper more involved than Michael Irvin. Some quarterbacks have a better
Noah Brown led.
Yeah, and I know last week he had a good day.
He led the team in catches. Yeah, he had 6. Yeah.
I know he did, but just to answer this question also, and just looking at it practical to answer that question, who also had more time in the training camp with each other? Dak. Who was running with the 2s and the 3s? Noah Brown. So, you know, Dak didn't have preseason. Who had the preseason? Cooper Rush. So it's early. Now it's gonna be a lot of this. It's gonna be a whole lot of because of Cooper Rush. People questioning Dak. I'm cool with that. I'm so fine with that. That only means we playing well, and I accept it. So, real quick, let's talk about Cooper Rush. And I'm gonna go around the circle. All right. This time I'm gonna finish with you, OC. I'm gonna start with you, Keystone. What's your thoughts on Cooper Rush, Key?
Yeah, I mean, I like Cooper Rush in this game, all because he got us a W. But everybody say he got the noodle arm, and I agree. But for some odd reason, he gets the ball there. He got it there today. So there ain't too much you can say about Cooper in this game. Yeah, we understand what he has done in the preseason because I had a big question mark on Cooper Rush, all because he really wasn't productive in the preseason. Even though he was throwing the ball, but he still wasn't productive. It's like he wasn't really making no red zone trips at all. So that's why I put the question mark on him. But for him to come here and be undefeated as a backup, let's just see if he can go to Jersey and steal one from the Giants. And hopefully after next week, we'll lead the division.
What's your thoughts on it, Coach Marv?
Cooper Rush did a good job. He did an okay job today. He did an okay job. As we know, there's more film on now on Cooper Rush. Some of the things that he did well this week, teams are going to take some of those things away, and he's going to have to adjust. But his success is only going to be if we even get more committed to running the ball and have success with running the ball and allow him not to get in trouble and do too much. I remind people when we look back at this game, there was 4 passes that he threw directly in Cincinnati Bengals' hands that they dropped.
Facts.
So let's just be mindful of that. They might not be interceptions, but they were bad passes, and they were directly in Bengals' hands that they dropped. And that's when we started to give him a little too much of the rope. If we make a game plan that suits him, and the other players around him play at good level, and we put the emphasis on the other players to carry us, I think Cooper Rush can do a great job of doing his part. But we don't want his part to be too much, because then he's going to start making mistakes. So let's keep his part to a minimum and depend on the other guys that we are considered the better players on this team. The line, Tony Pollard, CD and Ezekiel Elliott and CD Lamb, and get them to try to get open, get them with the balls in their hand, and let Cooper Rush manage the game. That's what we want him to do, manage the game.
All right, man, I appreciate that, Coach Marv. And let's take us a light break, because I know how it is. Y'all sitting in here, y'all liking the content, and y'all forget. So don't forget that as you sitting in here and you enjoying the post game and enjoying the W, we all are. Pay the bills. Don't forget by just hitting that like. It's a major part of what causes us to have our growth, and why we've been growing, and why we are hitting a real good pace of growth. It's more so because of the discipline and of you guys and ladies hitting that like button. So hit that like. Let's get that caught up. I'm pretty sure y'all caught up by now. If not, let's go ahead and get it. Let's get caught up on the likes. And then also, let's subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports. I look at our analytics. It's way too many people that like to freeload on Boss Cowboy Sports, where you faithfully coming back, but you're not even hitting the sub. Go ahead and hit that sub. If you keep coming back, but you know you're coming back for this content, you might as well sub to it. So that way you get the notifications when we go live. And we gonna be doing a lot more content coming this week, especially the week after. So I just want to say that before we kick it off to the OC and get his thoughts on Kellen Moore. And before we also get his thoughts on Kellen Moore, I want to just take these super chats real quick. We had a $10 super chat. Cooper Rush. Did I say something else? Did I say something?
You said more. It's okay, brother. I got you.
You got Kellen on your mind, man.
Yeah. See, I'm glad that happened. See, that show you sometimes we thinking one thing and saying another. It happens. I appreciate that, y'all. So my boy said this during the game on the super chat. He said, "What up, boss? I need 21 to get the ball." 21 got the ball and we won. That was obviously right before we kicked it off. And then this is a super chat. He said, "That was McCarthy calling the first drive, fam." I do believe this too, because we talked about scripts, OC, right? And with scripts, scripts are predetermined plays going into the first drive. Yeah. Mike McCarthy said he was gonna be taking a look at that call sheet, and it looked like he did. He looked like it, because the first drives was clearly like we getting ready to establish the run, Kellen. So
we
my
said
boy,
that.
What'd you say?
We said that in the watch party.
Yeah. That you said that. Matter of fact, you said that. Yeah, that was clearly Mike McCarthy on that script, and I definitely believe that. And my boy Landlord said we got the dub, Cowboy Nation, absolutely. And then Action Power said go back and watch the camera. All right, yeah, we'll go back and watch the camera, big dog, because we go watch more film this week. It's gonna be some things that we missed that we go back and look at again, and we go correct. Remember, this is a preliminary review. We have not reviewed any film. We have not checked out any post game interviews, none of that stuff. So this is just what we preliminary think. Give us all time to digest this. So OC, we obviously wanted to get your thoughts on Cooper Rush.
Yeah, man. So I think that overall Cooper Rush did a good job in the first half. I feel like he was operating based off a script and a preset group of plays that they were going to call for him when he was throwing the football. I think that he's a good backup quarterback, the only thing that you want to be careful of is that you don't go to a spread style offense and you start asking Cooper Rush to make multiple reads and make the right decision in the midst of those multiple reads and coverages. When they did that, that's when he got into trouble and started almost throwing the ball away to the other team because he got confused in coverages and he made a couple decisions that he should not have made. So you have to deal with Cooper Rush in light of the rest of the team. Make him deal the football. We need the model of Russell Wilson his rookie year. To go back even further, Ben Roethlisberger his rookie year. Okay. And they were a run-orientated team with play-action pass, and they asked him to make a couple big throws a game. That was Russell Wilson, which is a Super Bowl championship quarterback. That was also Ben Roethlisberger, which was a Super Bowl championship quarterback in his first season with the Steelers. Okay, so you got to adopt the same type of philosophy, and you got to lean on a strong defense to get you through this until Dak Prescott comes back. If you do, to Coach Marv's point, which is a fantastic point, if you try to do too much with Cooper Rush, you're going to get the man in trouble, because what's going to end up happening is you got a hall pass a little bit going up to the Giants, right? He should be able to do much of the same things that he did this week versus that Giants secondary. Then you got a tougher game coming up defensively with better pass rushers and a scrappier back end when you face the Washington Commanders. Then you have a Super Bowl caliber team that you got to play against when you play against the Rams the week after. So it's going to get tougher to do certain things, and his success, it lies in the ability of Kellen Moore and or Mike McCarthy to get him in good situations, plays that he can do, run the football, and be very, very smart with how you organize that offensive game plan.
All right, and man, I like this comment real quick. This comment said, answer this, I'm happy we won, but is it me or did Zeke act like he don't want to be here or play? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's frustrated with Kellen Moore, man. I'm going to be all the way honest with you. If you a star, you shouldn't like Kellen Moore, because his system treats stars like role players. And eventually, when you value yourself and your preparedness and you don't agree with him, yeah, you start pouting. That's why you start seeing pouting out the receivers last week, because that play calling. And to be honest, if I'm Zeke, I'm over here like, bro, y'all over here really trying to feature Pollard like he's me. Yeah, he's not me. He's not me. Now, I see what you're trying to do, and I don't like it. Yeah. So, I know people want him to be a team guy, but yeah, sometimes being a team guy is being selfish.
Boss, let me tell you what the...
Like that.
I knew I was going to get y'all going with that. I do it. What you say, Coach?
Boss, I'm gonna tell you what the word that we've been saying, and I've heard everybody say it many a time, and this is the word for this week: play action. Cooper Rush should throw 85% of his passes off play action, because when he don't throw the ball off play action, and defense is going to start scheming, and they're going to trap him, and he's going to turn the ball over. Play action is his, listen here, that's his go-to, being committed to the run of the ball, and this offensive staff should come up and make just about 85% of our passes look like run action, where he can get the ball out quick, but play action is going to be the key to him being successful. It's not going to be spread when you ain't got nobody in the backfield. It's going to be play action passes. It's going to make him successful. If they go away from that, and I guess when we look at the numbers, I guarantee when we look at the numbers, we're going to find out he was probably very good with play action passes tonight, which he didn't do too many. But that's going to be that's going to be the thing that's going to get us through with that, and hopefully that will show Dak that's who he is too. He's better than Cooper Rush, but if you run play action with him, he's going to turn those completions with Cooper Rush into touchdowns with Dak Prescott. See what I'm saying? So play action pass is the key to making Cooper Rush successful. And they go away from that play action, but you can't run play action if you're not committed to what? To running the football. Right? So if you committed to running the football like they were a little bit today, if they get more committed, play action pass will make Cooper Rush's job so much easier, and he will appreciate the coaching staff for it.
Yeah, coach. Somebody said, "My bad, boss. I just hit it." See, I know how it go, man. It happens all the time. People come in here, they be in that content. I do it to some of my favorite YouTubers. I be sitting there enjoying the content. I get on and off and never hit that like. So we all sometimes need a reminder. But my thoughts on Cooper Rush, man, is obviously people go get carried away. They go really start trying to make him as if he's Dak and like he's going to be Dak or he has a chance to be Dak. I'm going to be honest. I don't see all that. What I do see is I see a guy that can close out your game if you have a good strategy with him, especially a safe game management strategy. You can eke out wins. You can also eke out some losses, but you can eke out some wins. All we really want him to be is about a 50-50 win ratio before Dak gets back. That's all we want. If he can be by 50, if he above that,
bruh, finish him.
Yeah. That's going to be way more than what we asked for. But all we want out of Cooper Rush is a solid game manager and somebody that can just calm himself in these tumultuous waters. So that's my thoughts on him. And y'all stay on the lookout.
Hey, boss.
Yo.
Hey, boss.
Yo.
I'm going to go back to one of your interviews. Didn't you remember you had the interview with Jay Novacek?
Yep.
And what Jay Novacek said that you have to do, where you could put guys in, and when he said that you could put guys in the game, but their success is for the rest of the players around them to pick up their games, so it looks like you're not really missing a piece because you protect him by doing more in your game. You put the emphasis on the other guys to do well, so that person doesn't have to do too much. That's what I'm saying about Cooper Rush. Put the emphasis on Tony Pollard, this offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, and CeeDee Lamb, and to make plays, get them easy catches for them to break tackles, get them runs, and then Cooper Rush will feel at home. He'll feel comfortable. You don't feel like the weight of the world will be on him, and this guy is strong enough to be able to do service.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that, Coach. That's exactly what they should do. But see, Kellen Moore's system not built on that. You know what I'm saying? It's not built on what you're saying. See, what you're saying is common sense Mike McCarthy matchup football. Mike McCarthy Mike had to fight for that common sense this week. So after a dub, they likely go back to it. Just to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest. So, but hey, OC, did you have anything else, big dog?
No, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this: great win. The only other way, and I'll add to what Coach Marv said, that Cooper Rush is gonna be successful if you have distinct route combinations. They ran trips to the right. What did they do? They ran basically a 299. They had two go routes or hitches, and then they cut CeeDee Lamb on a slant route underneath those two goals, right? You had drag routes from the backside. You had a couple skinny post routes. So if you do succinct route combination stuff that's easy for Cooper Rush to see, you'll have success. But listen, guys, I want you guys to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, okay? Don't forget to comment. It really helps the algorithm and everything we're trying to do. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me on the OC100. And, guys, thanks for the support.
All right, man. That was Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Thank you, Coach Marv. Thank you, Keystone. Thank you, OC. Thank you, Chad. All right, listen, man. Let's clap it up before we get out of here, man. Clap it up.
Oh, man. I'm gonna get to watch some TV tonight because I ain't gonna be pouting.
Clap it up, man. Clap it up, man. Good job, you, Dallas. At least
I ain't gonna be pouting tonight. I can answer my telephone tonight.
Oh man, clap it up, man. Clap it up. Yeah, man. Good dub, Dallas, man. So everybody, yo.
What's that?
I'm gonna sit back. how Aaron's gonna look without Devontae this week. Can he bounce back?
BossCowboySports.
Yeah.
They got some problems in Green Bay. But you know, Aaron didn't care about having no receivers. He ain't care about having no receivers. He just wanted that $50 million a year. That's all he wanted.